Good morning, my friends. How are you all? 2020 has begun, has officially begun. Woo! What's up, everyone? How are you all? Hello there. I don't go on Reddit anymore, so is that deadline for official rosters and anywhere to see them all? I'm pretty sure all rosters are official by now. Like for sure. There's no way any team hasn't announced their entire roster yet this late. So I'm pretty sure you can see all the rosters like on. I mean, you can go to Leaguepedia and search up all the different teams there. I don't think there's any. Yeah, I don't think there's anything official from Riot's side yet that's gonna come out soon enough to. I've had 2 weeks like completely off. I decided that after grinding most of the off season, if not all of it, it would be good for me to take a bit of time off around Christmas and New Year's before getting back in there and before getting back on the grind. And I have some catching up to do. The people that were here at the start of the stream heard me say that I haven't played a solo queue game for 2 weeks, which is true. And I need to catch up on the meta, on everything that's happened within the scene, and yeah, that's gonna be exciting. How do you feel about the dark lands of NA solo queue? I'm kind of I'm kind of excited to see what the dark lands of NA SOLOQ has to offer, honestly. I expect the quality to be pretty bad, but I've heard so many things about NA SOLOQ. Like, you keep hearing an unbelievable amount about how bad it is and this and that. And I guess now I'll get to find out for myself one way or another what NA SOLOQ is like, and hopefully that's not going to be the worst experience. I've already played that on two different occasions when we've been at Rift Rivals both in 2018 and 2019. But the thing is, I never played on an actual high-elo account. I think the MMR on the accounts I played on in A was around Platinum, Diamond, maybe something around that. But yeah, I don't really have much more experience than that. The only thing I found out about NA solo queue is that around 75% of the players there are one-trick ponies. At least it feels so. I'm not surprised. Even in EU, there's a lot of one-tricks too. I think that's how it goes for every server. Like, I'm pretty convinced that Korea and China has a lot of one-tricks and high-elo as well. That's just how it works, really. Like, when people want to get to high-elo, they just spam a champion. Like, they just hardcore spam certain champions to get elo. Like, most people that are pro today have done this in the past to get to challenger or whatever. But something that I can imagine that is a bit more extreme in NA is, um, I mean, there's a really big difference between EU and NA in terms of, let's say, entertainment and content creation and streaming and all that. In NA, streaming and content creation, like let's say YouTube for example, is so big. It's so much bigger than in Europe. And therefore, a lot of these players playing NA solo queue are playing not necessarily with a purpose of trying for their lives to go pro or to get scouted by teams, but to make some nice highlights or some funny plays and clips for their YouTube channel or Twitch streams. And I think that is a big difference between EU and NA because in EU, obviously, you're gonna get trolls once in a while. You're gonna get people that are not trying to win. You're gonna get people that are doing some silly things. But I think that is gonna be a big. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm gonna be wrong, and maybe everyone is tryharding for their life over there. But I can kind of imagine that being a problem looking from the outside. Given the comments about the difference in level between NA and EU, not flaming NA but just saying what's been said, how do you plan to maintain your level there? That's a pretty good question, Catalina. Obviously, a lot of players go to NA and their skill level drops a lot. They start slacking, they don't take the game serious, and they just, chill and start partying and do this and that. And I think, I'm pretty sure that the practice over in NA is going to be a bit worse. Solo queue is going to be worse, partly due to the skill level of the region, but also partly due to the solo queue having high ping. Scrims are not going to be as great because the teams you're facing presumably are not going to be as great as in Europe, and there are a bunch of different factors playing in, right, that makes it harder to maintain the same skill level. But I think one of the most important things for me once traveling to NA is to come in and be really disciplined and really maintain that discipline. I think as long as I continue to be disciplined, possibly even more than I've been these previous 3 years, I think going NA is going to be extra important. It's going to be super, super important to be extremely disciplined in all sorts of areas and make sure that I do everything that I can and in any way to make sure that I can be the best version of myself. And that's not only when playing solo queue, like making sure to take solo queue as seriously as possible and not getting frustrated by the ping or um, not getting complacent because the skill level, generally speaking, is worse, or making sure that I actually go to the gym consistently and stick to many of the routines I've had these past years and that has brought me to worlds these different times. And I think that's gonna be the main thing really, just being disciplined. And I don't know if my mechanics are gonna drop a bit. I'm not sure. I think it should be fine. I would consider myself mechanically, well, let's call it gifted, mechanically gifted enough to be able to keep my mechanics up on a really high level, because that would probably be one of my biggest concerns. And other than that, when it comes to game knowledge and macro, most of this is gonna be the same. Most of this you can learn, or I can learn, continue to learn by watching games from other regions, keeping an eye on, let's say, Korea, for example, EU, for example, China, see what happens over there, keep track of the meta, and again, I think discipline is the key word, really. I think, well, there has been players that went from EU to NA that have improved a lot and that looked really, really strong. Bjergsen and Jensen are probably one of the two main names here. Both of those guys have actually built a legacy for themselves and done so well over in North America. I think Niski looked really good on Cloud9 this year. I think he already looked really good on Splice the previous year, but in 2019, Niski did a really, really good job on Cloud9. Santorin has been looking really, really great in FlyQuest. Svenskeren has been doing really great. Like Svenskeren was already good when he was an SK playing in Europe, and then he became even better over in NA. There are various examples of players going to NA and actually not only maintaining their skill level, but getting even better. And I am looking to add myself onto that list at the end of this year. I hope that answers your question. I try to be as detailed as possible. And I think when with this type of question, that is important because, yeah, I mean, it's a good question, right? And it's something I've been thinking to myself as well. Like, if I am to go to NA, how is it gonna affect my career? How is it gonna affect my skill level, my mechanics, my game knowledge? How is all of this gonna be affected by this decision? But I am confident in my own ability to make sure that my skill level doesn't drop and that I can still actually, when given the opportunity, despite being on an NA team, perform on an international level. And one thing you need to keep in mind as well is that I'm not just going to NA to play for a random team. I'm going to NA to play for Team Liquid, who won the previous 4 times, who beat IG at MSI to go to the MSI finals, and who have some really, really good players. This team has some really, really, really good players, and that is something that I hope can help me improve as well. That um, playing with these guys and being in this organization can actually give me an opportunity to grow as a player and a person, right? And going on the other side of the world on a personal note, on a personal level, is going to be a big change for me, a big challenge, and a great experience, right? Trying to live on the other side of the globe and see what's that like, deal with some new challenges, grow from those challenges, and be in a different culture, in a different setting. There's a lot of things that just while being pretty nerve-wracking, can help make this experience and playing over in Team Liquid over in NA really, really exciting and a really good experience for me.